Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and whenever you're watching me right now, my name is Jay Luke, the owner and operator of the Passion Is Network, where we amplify the voices, elevate the culture, and champion musicians. Don't forget, you can get anything in our store, anything, any of that new merchandise too. Just go ahead and put it inside of the cart, and you can get 30% off your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band. All right. Also, don't forget, we also have our scholarship fund coming up on March 1st, so be on the lookout for that. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Man, to be quite honest, I actually ran across this video. When you got a mustache, it tends to happen. Anyway, but I actually ran across this video and I actually started watching a little bit of it, but then I was like, I don't want to watch all of it because I kind of want to save my thoughts for when I'm actually going through it to you all. So, I'm gonna go ahead and hit play on this, and then we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna keep moving on. But I may not get through all of it because it's an 11-minute video, so we're gonna see. But let's go ahead and talk about it.
Hurry up! Y'all hear them warming up? Hurry up, run! Y'all don't got much time to waste. Hey, I need 25 from all y'all. Take it too long. Hey, tell him strap down. I need 25 from here.
I like him. I like him already. You come in, hey, you late. And see, I'm gonna be honest. What I didn't like is he was like, "Hey, man, you late, and y'all need to hurry up." And they just kind of still walked in. It to me, it wasn't no hustle, but I still like you. Good job, young fella.
The drum majors, we don't move like this. We move with a purpose. Coming from up north, you don't have really marching bands. You just have concert bands. We got brothers that came down here. We were brand new to it. We didn't know how to march. We didn't know how to do nothing. Come on. But once you get the love for it and you keep playing and you practice and you work hard, you're gonna love it. 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we both auditioned at the same time.
So if you didn't notice, this is actually talking about Clark Atlanta University. I mean, obviously, right? So this is following them, and the title of it is "How an Atlanta Marching Band Plans to Dominate HBCUs in the South." And so they're looking at or following Clark Atlanta University.
Made it his first year.
Is that a alpha joint? All right, U6. All right, cool.
I didn't make it my first year, but me, I'm never a person to give up. So I made myself do it over, and I made it the next year.
Oh, Lord Jesus. My name is Anaya Samuel. I'm from Douglasville, Georgia. Hey, y'all. What y'all working on? I played trombone since middle school, actually, 6th grade.
Okay, I see. They go another one. All right.
I have a suggestion, right?
What's up?
Once they get this under their fingers, whatever, I had a gliss right here. You got Yes. I'm kind of a little historic because it's been 7 years since they had a female drum major.
That's interesting. 7 years since the last female drum major at Clark Atlanta. Well, congratulations to you, young lady. You know, it seems like you do have a good energy and a good command over the students that are there, your section and so on and so forth, and they trust you, and then, you know, they trust what you got to say. So good job, man. That's great leadership.
If you think about the ladies, they're mostly the people dancing with the music, but they're not the ones playing the music or even holding a mix in their hand. So it's just a stereotypical thing. Sometimes they don't even realize I'm a girl. Like, they'll be like, "Oh, you go, girl." Like, they'll be like, "Wait a minute," you know? They get really excited. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm assuming they're talking about with the uniform
here at Clark Atlanta University. I'm also the head director of bands at Douglas County High School. Kind of have.
So I've actually had the distinct pleasure of having a conversation with him. And I kind of knew a little bit about him before I had that conversation with him. And one of the things that I found very interesting is the fact that he's a high school band director and the interim director at Clark Atlanta University. That is absolutely crazy. And it's crazy because of the fact that, in my opinion, you know, and this is just my opinion, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we discussed this, the fact that, you know, I don't know the specific situation in totality, so I'm only going to go off of where my opinion is and my opinion lies. But at this point, he should just be named the director of bands, the head band director, in my opinion. He's taken over the helm. I think if I'm not mistaken, this past school year makes a year that he's been there. And I can see the growth in what's happening with that program. I did a review on them over this past summer, and I can see what he's doing. And I mean, why not? You know, but shout out to him. It's super commendable what he's doing. I think it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, but he takes it in stride, and I think that's a great thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Boots on the ground in both places. So that dual role, it allows us to kind of target the types of students that we want at Clark Atlanta University.
And it's smart, right? It's smart because you're a high school band director and you're the band director at the university. You're now feeding your university based on the students that you have, and honestly building that connection with those kids from the high school level, taking them into the college level. They've already built a rapport with you and they're already comfortable with you. So to me, that's a no-brainer. It's a perfect pipeline.
The bottom line is it's a retention tool. Students who participate in extracurricular activities persist at a higher rate and increases our retention rate for our students. So that's why the band is ultimately important to us.
I want to bring Clark Atlanta back to the center of the HBCU culture. And the way that we're going to do that is by developing musicians first, and then we gradually pull that attention back.
HBCU bands started emerging in the late 19th century, the outgrowth of like military band culture. They really start to formalize and become what we recognize as Black college bands around the mid 20th century.
So like I said, we're not going to watch this whole thing. I think we're like 4 minutes in, 4 minutes, 16 seconds. But I'm going to go back and do a deeper dive into this, man, and just watch it. But I mean, shout out to Clark Atlanta, man, and the growth that they're doing and everything that's happening there, man. If you guys have not watched this or you didn't know anything about it, man, go check it out. Like I said, I'm going to plan on looking further into it and watching it a little bit longer, or watching it all the way to the end. But I mean, again, shout out to Clark Atlanta. The fact that they have that pipeline going from the high school perspective is really interesting. But I think it's a good thing, right? But I think there's a bigger question that you can ask on top of this, right? Like when we talk Clark Atlanta, we're there, and just any HBCU, right? Like any HBCU band program, scholarship budgets, finances, all that kind of stuff. You know, what is that looking like in comparison to one another? Is the scholarship budget comparable to the tuition rate, right? But then the other half of that is, it begs a very good question of when we think about Georgia and we think about band, because I think earlier on he said something to the degree of when you think of, or at one time Georgia, when you thought about Georgia or Atlanta, and you thought about band, you thought about Clark Atlanta. I mean, to be very honest, I only knew about Morris Brown. I found out about Clark Atlanta later, but there is some truth to that, right? Kind of in the Drumline era, when that film came out, that's kind of when I got introduced to Clark Atlanta for the first time. I knew about Morris Brown before then, but when I think about him, I'm thinking numbers. I'm thinking size, right? And there's a plethora of Georgia kids. If I really am incorrect, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but there are like a plethora of Georgia kids that be like at Jackson. And there may be a few at the other schools. There may be a few at Southern. There may be a few at PV. There may be a few at Texas Southern. And I guess the question is, why are they not staying home? You know, and don't get me wrong. Let me preface it by saying this. I was a person who was from Houston and chose to go to Norfolk. I didn't want to go to Texas Southern or Prairie View when I came out because I just wanted a different experience, right? I just wanted to go to the completely different school that I knew nobody else was going to. That was my story. There were a lot of people in the city of Houston that went to either Prairie View or Texas Southern. The percentage was a lot higher with the people who stayed than the people who left. I say all that to say there are a lot of high school bands in the city of Georgia, or in the state of Georgia, in the city of Atlanta alone. I'm curious as to why they're not filling out the Clark Atlanta band program in those stands, and they're going to other programs. But I'm sure, now that he's been there for a year now, I'm sure that they are actually putting a plan together and a plan in place. And I guess this is based on the title, how an Atlanta marching band plans to dominate HBCUs in the South. I think if I go further into here, they'll probably talk about it. But it's really something that does bring up a really interesting question as to why those kids are not attending Clark Atlanta and the band program. But I would love to see more students being able to participate in the band program. So I'm looking forward to it, the growth of the band. You all didn't see it from the beginning, but I think they said that the band grew from like 20 kids to like almost over 100. So I think the growth is great. And keep pushing, keep growing. I am definitely looking at it and watching it and 100% support. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. The only thing that I will say is this. This is the only thing. Whose idea was it for the red field? Just the complete red field, right? Just the blood field. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. It is. And then I think about the band uniform translating the red on the uniform and the red on the field. I don't know. To me, it just kind of blends in. But I guess it's the way for the university, the football team, so on and so forth, to stand out. And, hey, decisions were made. I'm just curious whose idea was that, man. But other than that, man, I want you guys to go ahead and tell me your thoughts inside the comment section. Have you all seen this? This says this published on January 31st, 2025. So I don't know, man. After this, it may get a couple more views, but y'all go ahead and check this out. I know I'm gonna finish watching it, but have you all seen this? Did you know anything about it? Had you heard about it, man? But also, are you supporting Clark Atlanta University? I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm supporting all HBCU and HBCU band programs that are on the come up, that are growing, that want to be better, that want to continue to support students. And that's why we have the scholarship fund coming up. So don't forget, on March 1st, we are launching our scholarship fund. Don't forget, you are able to put in, once we launch, you can put in as much as you want. We have no cap, because our goal is to make sure that we can fund and support as many students as we possibly can. That's what we do here at the Passionate Network. And if you are a subscriber, that means you are a part of the Passion crew. So that means that if we get enough in to be able to support at least maybe even one student to go to Clark Atlanta, we will do that. So don't forget, March 1st, that is launched. And also don't forget, you can go inside our store and get anything that you want. You can get 30% off your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band. Outside of that, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.